The video you're about to see contains some extreme subject matter, so if you are of the faint of heart or are easily offended or triggered by certain words and subject matter, then please be advised and maybe even skip this video if you are not comfortable with certain subject matter. And I'm aware that this is probably going to get some backlash. That being said, I am the Rebellion, and I do have my own thoughts and feelings on these things, so proceed with caution, or just skip this video entirely. Totally understand it. Anyways, that's it. You've been warned. Hope you enjoy this Jesse Talks Metal episode, as it covers something that I think we all need to talk about.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Black Metal Rebellion. I'm your host, Jesse Morgan, and this episode of Jesse Talks Metal is brought to you by the word rape. Shocked, aren't you? Maybe even a little triggered. Maybe you are flipping me off right now. Maybe you're throwing your phone or laptop down in extreme rage. Maybe you're a feminist. Maybe you're someone who is a victim of rape, and the mere mention of the word sends you into a fit of convulsion. Now, before we actually start getting through this episode, I do want to say one thing about this word. I do not condone anything remotely close to rape. It is a terrible, horrible thing, and is a criminal act on which the act of doing so should be severely punished and shunned and all that other stuff, because actual rape is absolutely appalling and disgusting, and no one should ever have to go through with it and have that forced upon them and have that happen. Okay, now this subject is extremely touchy. I'm very aware of that. I have had friends and loved ones who have been victims of rape, so I'm very, very aware of how extremely touchy the subject can be, and how bad it can be, and the effects of it can be throughout someone's entire life after being a victim of said crime. However, that being said, there are genres of metal, extreme metal, that have undertones and sometimes just blatantly obvious references, and sometimes even glorification of rape. Now, the thing is, you got to realize here, when it comes to art, is that art does not represent the artist, and sometimes you have to separate the artist from the art. Extreme metal isn't for everyone. There are genres like gore grind, porno grind, brutal death metal, slam, etc., that utilizes subject matters revolving around rape, as well as mutilation and murder and everything under the sun that could potentially be offensive and triggering to people. Recently, there is a band by the name Embryonic Decay. One of their members, by the name Phoenix, I believe, had a post on Facebook, caused a bit of controversy lately, and honestly, I think it's being a little bit exaggerated and a little bit blown up, and people aren't quite hitting the mark when it comes to what's actually going on and what's actually being said or portrayed. Now, the action that I'm talking about is, he posted a picture on his Facebook, a gif of breasts, female breasts in a bra being kind of squished and fondled a bit, and he said something along the lines of, "This makes me want to rape." Now, like if you just look at that plain faced, yeah, that's going to be offensive. A lot of people are going to be triggered by that. A lot of people are going to be pissed off by that statement. However, there is a comedian that said all things are funny within context. Now, the context here is that he's an extreme metal musician who is obviously, at least I'd like to think he is, just kind of method acting or bringing his extreme metal band character into his personal posts and commenting as that character. Now, when I saw it, when I saw the post, when I saw everything and the hoopla surrounding it, I was kind of like, okay, I would really hate to be Embryonic Decay right now, just because there is a lot, and I can't stress this a lot enough. Sorry, but there is a lot of people who will not look any further once they see the word rape. Once they see someone use that word, it is all downhill from there. They do not wish to hear any explanations. They don't want to dig any deeper. They don't want to do any research. They just want to go full attack mode, and that's it. That's the end of the story. However, anyone with half a brain who enjoys extreme metal knows that this kid, I think he might be under 19 or 18, was just, from my interpretation, just going, "These tits are hot. This makes me want to have sex. They turn me on." Him actually saying, "This makes me want to rape," I really don't think he means I'm actually going to rape because I see a picture of tits. Okay? When you put the context of him being in an extreme metal band and them using those kind of tongue-in-cheek lyrics in their songs, and then him saying that on his personal profile, it's pretty easy to put two and two together and be like, oh, he's just fucking around. He's making like a tongue-in-cheek joke based on the character or the song themes that he has in the band. Now, this Jesse Talks Metal episode isn't just about that. I just wanted to spark your attention and, get some focus on what's going on right now. Extreme music is going to be extreme. It's not for everyone. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not meant for victims of said things. That being said, pardon me, coffee does wonders. I do have the odd family member or loved one who has been a victim of actual rape, who understands extreme metal and understands that there are some tongue-in-cheek things that are going to be said, and they understand that it's in jest. It's not meant to be harmful. People, and it's not directed at anyone individually. And these people need to, I get why they're hypersensitive to a subject like this. If you were a victim of being robbed or being mugged or assault or molestation or rape, or had someone in your family murdered or something like that, having those subjects come up is definitely going to be alarming, cause a little bit of anxiety, cause maybe some flashbacks, some unwanted feelings to come up. But I don't know what to tell you. Like, you can't let those events in life dictate the rest of your life. It sucks. It's a hard thing to cope with, and it probably may take years to fully get over certain things, and I understand that, and I sympathize with that. But even people in my life that have been victim of that still have half the brain to go, oh, it's a metal band. That's what they do. They talk about tongue-in-cheek things for shock value, because not everything has to be sunshine and lollipops. Not everyone has to, blow puppy dogs up your ass. You know what I mean? If it's not your thing and it bugs you, don't listen to it. Don't watch it. Don't follow these bands' pages. Don't follow the members if something like that's going to uh, in, bring up anxiety or whatever. Like, extreme metal is always going to be extreme. It's always going to be pushing the envelope. It's always going to be pushing the boundaries of what regular people find to be PC or acceptable. That's just what it is. Even if I was a victim of some heinous crime, I'm not going to want the metal scene, the extreme metal scene, to change because of it. I'm not going to force my beliefs or views on them. If I find something that personally offends me and it's causing that much of an issue, I will just unfollow, I will unsubscribe. I'm not going to make this huge fucking stink and try to get the band banned from every venue. I'm not going to start trying to call up these people at home or try to get them fired. Just use some logic. Like, step outside your little safe zone and realize that the world doesn't have to cater to you. It doesn't have to cater to me. It doesn't cater to me. I'm fine with that. You know? Some restaurants don't have one of those wheelchair accessible ramps. So don't fucking eat there if you use a wheelchair. Like, it's if you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be offensive here. I'm not trying to stir up any shit by this, except to maybe turn a few brains on here and get some, like, light bulbs clicking on for some people. But the whole point is, extreme metal is going to be extreme. If you can't handle that, go find something else to do. These people in real life, this kid that says, "Ooh, these boobs are hot, it makes me want to rape," he's not actually going to rape. Based on, his like, if he's actually going to commit a crime of that heinous of level, it's not going to be because he's in an extreme metal band. It's because someone like that would have already had these mental problems and already being, sick to begin with, sick in the head. Like, I don't know how to explain this any better. There's a clear difference between someone who is mentally twisted and sick and would actually commit these, like, terrible crimes, and someone who's in an extreme metal band who's just trying to, like, express themselves in an extreme fashion. Like, I don't understand why people don't get that. I understand why some people can be offended by these things. I totally get it. When people use the term faggot around me, I'm a member of the LGBT, so it's going to annoy me a bit. I made a video about the use of the word posers and faggots, and why that's lowbrow and stupid and needs to stop happening so much, and people need to, like, pay attention more what they're saying. But at the same time, it's freedom of speech. Okay? You may not like what someone has to say, but they have the right to say it. That's the problem when you give a right to people. It's a right for all people, and it's a freedom for everyone to use, wherever that law is being upheld. So, sorry. Your neighbor who lives in the 50s and is, like, prim and proper and doesn't swear and only talks about work or gardening, not everyone is going to be like that. There are going to be people that talk about extreme subjects because that's what intrigues them, that's what interests them, that's where their fancy is. But that also doesn't mean that they're going to be a criminal. Doesn't mean they're going to be, like, a serial murderer or a rapist or like a bank robber if you listen to rap. Like, they're not just because they sing about it doesn't mean they are it. Here's the art. Here's the artist. The artist creates art. I don't know how much more I can just explain that to you. Anyways, go support Embryonic Decay. These guys are making some really good music. Very talented kids. They're, from what I think, they're making it's like slamming death metal or like gore grind or something. I didn't look too much into what they did. I just see the backlash and I saw that they're an extreme metal band and I'm just like, oh, okay. Pump your brakes a bit, son. Or girl, because it's mostly women that are flipping out about this. Most guys realize that it's just an extreme metal thing. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's this huge wave of feminism that's hitting, that's making every scene chick have a stick up their ass, or if it's just, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's these people that cannot look beyond the obvious. They see something and they cannot delve any further into the bigger picture. You need to see the bigger picture. It's so annoying. It's like that incident that happened forever ago where someone tried to get Shining to not play a venue, or was so goddamn offended that Shining was playing their venue because he self-mutilates on stage for shock value and up the metal factor, and he's probably a little bit what's that word when it comes to masochistic or misogynistic? Yeah, he might be a little misogynistic, but it might just be the fucking artist acting as a character. Like, he might be just method acting while he's on stage and being in that Shining persona. Like, did anyone ever actually stop to talk to this Phoenix kid that made the post to be like, yo, that kind of was a little bit a bit blunt and a little like, wow, are you like supporting rape? Do you like actually think this is a cool thing? And give him a chance to actually respond and be like, nah, you know, I just thought these tits were hot, and I'm like, man, they make me want to rape. Like, it seems like these people don't understand that there's a levity there that's not being focused on. Like there's a time and place to joke about things, and there's context that you can use to make things funny that are extreme and like wow, I can't believe they joked about that. And there's a way not to do it. I know. I think honestly that the kid is just getting way too much slack for this. I think the band is getting way too much slack for this. And if you're not, if extreme metal and the ideologies and the lyrics that they include in it isn't for you, then just get the fuck out. Go listen to fucking classic rock or something. Go listen to fucking, I don't know, Shania Twain or Big and Rich or like Tom Petty. You know, if you can't stand songs about murder, rape, gore, or just whatever, then don't listen to it. Don't pay attention to those fucking pages or those artists. It's because it's censorship. It's censorship. That's what it is. It's artistic censorship, and it's bullshit. Either it's all okay or none of it's okay. Anyways, that's all I have to say on this subject. Go support Embryonic Decay. Go give them like some sort of like listen to and check them out. Let them know that they're still welcome in the extreme metal scene. That these people are just being hypersensitive idiots and didn't bother to just look any further than the plain face value of everything. And once again, actual rape is not okay. It's a disgusting, appalling criminal act that should be severely punished. No extreme metal artist in their right mind supports that. No one is an actual rape supporter in that, except for the odd fucking moron out there that's is already sick in the head, that doesn't represent all extreme metal artists, okay? So anyways, this has been another episode of Jesse Talks Metal. These have been my thoughts on extreme metal subjects and the word rape and the context of everything. I hope whoever is watching this right now is adult enough to be able to understand the subject matter that has been presented forward and can treat this with a mature level. That's all. Anyways, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. For glory, for the rebellion, Slime Rail out.